Awesome. Awesome. Well, that was my opening word. Awesome. If anything, I'm motivated to go back to work. So that's good. Connecting with all of you here, connecting online, it's absolutely motivating and so much good information. So that's great. A few notes. I want to specifically thank all of you, those of you that took the time and energy to travel and come out. And if you're online, I would hope that you consider this for the future. We'll make sure to get more leeway maybe next year. Spending time in person is just enjoyable, right? I FaceTime with my mom, who's in Norway, once a week or so, and it's great. It's a great connection, but it doesn't beat sharing a meal with her in our kitchen. So keep that in mind. And I also want to thank the four panelists on the customer panel. So Jonathan, Kristen, Bob, and Jay. I thought that conversation was just super interesting, and everybody has a different take on business. You're in unique markets, you run a unique property, you have a different kind of approach to it, different price points. I mean, there's so many different things. And when I hear about a property A versus property B and how they compare and handling certain things, it's rarely the same answer that's true, but I always get good ideas. And it seems like a lot of this is relatable across all of you. So I think that's super great. I want to thank our full partners that were here today. So Akia, Take Up, CardStack, and Nexio. Those are important partners. And I understand the question earlier, but well, what happens when there's outside parties maybe accessing our data? Well, any partner that you work with is a partner you need to trust. And we try to pick our partners very carefully. If you use integrated credit card processing, you're trusting that they can manage that information. If you use Akia, you trust that they can manage that information. So just think about that. With AI too, I hear those concerns. And what if the company uses my information somewhere else or shares with a competitor? As a business, we use business accounts for all our AI tools. And those companies promise not to use our proprietary information or any of those conversations outside of our organization. So in my book, it is a little similar to, well, Microsoft has access to all my emails if I use the Microsoft email platform. And technically, if they leaked that email or they were hacked, yes, that information might be available to somebody else. So, but at some level, you got to trust somebody and you want to be careful. But I think the world is getting smaller and smaller, and there's more information, and we're going to keep moving faster and faster and taking advantage of some of these opportunities. I think it's important. So, and then finally, just a big thanks to the rezStream team. Like I said, this wouldn't be any fun without you. And I had this, I think maybe 25 years ago, I decided to kind of write this life plan. And the summary of it, I coined drive the bus and enjoy the ride. And thank you for being on that bus. And then a quick plug to everybody here. We had 116 people sign up. I'm not sure exactly how many have participated throughout the day, in and out, but you will be getting a survey. We are going to ask you what you liked, what you didn't like, what was new, what was fun, what was boring, what the schedule, all kinds of things. We'll do that so we can do it yet better next year. This was the first year that we tried this hybrid version. There's some technology things that don't always work out maybe the way you thought, but I'm at least hoping that everyone that were online had an opportunity to get most of what we experienced in here. And then for rezStream, James was able to share some of the specifics, and James is probably the smartest guy in the room. Jeff and Liz and everybody else after that, and I kind of just follow, but I am the glue that holds this thing together. And when it comes to the future of rezStream, I think, and we heard it on the customer panel too, which I thought was interesting, the ICP of the ideal client profile. So you got to know who you want to serve and kind of stay true to that. And you are the ones we want to continue to serve. So we're going to stay in this market. I think part of rezStream's success and being in business for 25 years is not shifting gears and trying to do things very differently year to year, but understanding the role that we play. And we had a conversation this year, and we concluded that at the heart of rezStream, we want to be a PMS and booking engine company. That is who, and we want to do that for independent lodging businesses like yours. And so for you, we hope to continue to remain that kind of hub of the wheel, of your wheel, and maybe some of these other products will become spokes that you can choose to use or not use, but that you will find that the PMS and the booking engine is really at the core of what you need for your business. We obviously will continue to evolve our technology. We're going to continue to add features, but we want to make sure that we don't do that at the expense of complicating anything. So back to simplified lodging, better lodging, simplified. We want to make sure that what you use 80% of the time is really good, that it is flexible, that you feel like it meets your needs, that it's customizable, so it's well suited to you, and that we don't clutter up with too many things to take away from the core kind of businesses that you have. So in short, that's where we're going to try to stay.